FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is February 20th, 2017. Well, we saw Trump's immigration plan get struck down by the Ninth Circuit. Now it's kind of tied up in, without getting overly legally technical, the full Ninth Circuit, has agreed to kind of rehear it. In the meantime, the executive order is held in abeyance. You can debate the wisdom or lack of wisdom of the courts, the Ninth Circuit's upholding of the judge from Seattle. But hey, that's what the courts do. They're out of control in many respects. But Trevor Loudon's with us right now. You can find him at trevorloudon.com, TrevorLoudon. Been with us many times. And hey, questions, comments about this show or others, email me at kl@kerrylutz.com. Trevor, it's great to have you back with us. Hope all is well.
Oh, it's good to be on, Kerry. Thanks for having me.
As always. So, immigration, the plan. So, right now, hey, the appeals court struck it down. It's kind of ridiculous. Or they upheld the judge his order that struck it down. You know, they always say, taught us in law school, if you're weak on the facts, stress the law. If you're weak on the law, stress the facts. If you're weak on the law and the facts, bang your hand on the table, which is basically what the judge here did and what the Ninth Circuit did, right?
Well, it sounds exactly like it. Look, Obama did something similar with Iranians. So did Jimmy Carter. And look, as far as I am aware, the McCarran Act is still the law of the land in this country, and that gives the president total power at his discretion to deem any individual or group of individuals as undesirables who can be kept out of the country at any time at his discretion. So I don't know why he's not invoking that, but to me, Trump acted perfectly within the law, doing what he's doing. Clearly, the judiciary system is completely co-opted by the left in many places, and they're going to stand against us. So I wish Trump the best on this. So I think he will come out with new executive orders that may be better worded, and he will just keep the pressure on until he gets what he wants. And I think this first step will only be a step along the road. I think he'll go a lot further than 7 countries and a lot longer than 90 days.
And the ultimate irony is McCarran, Pat McCarran, was a Democratic United States Senator from Nevada.
Yes, from Nevada. Yeah,
right.
He was a Democrat.
Right.
Because the Democrats used to care about national security in those days. It was the Democrats. You should hear Harry Reid and Bill Clinton talking about ending illegal immigration back in the 90s, how they thought illegal immigration was a disaster for America. Until they cottoned on to the fact that they could get millions of Democratic votes out of it. They were very opposed to it. And the Democrats were often more national security hawks than the Republicans were.
Yeah, you go back in history. Well, these illegal immigrants are just undocumented Democrats oftentimes, right?
Well, that is the case now. And look, this is a pure calculation here. The Democrats know that the Muslims in this country vote 80% Democrat. They know the Latinos vote about 75% Democrat. They know that there are maybe, upwards of anywhere between 12 and 40 million illegals in the country. So that's a heck of a lot of new Democratic votes. That would give them a permanent governing majority effectively forever. So you can see why the Democrats switched their position from being totally opposed to illegal immigration to totally supporting it. It's all about the votes. It's nothing to do with national security. It's nothing to do with humanitarian aims. It's nothing to do with helping immigrants. It's all about votes and power. And that's why there's Islamic refugees were allowed to come in, because they were a voting base for the Democrats, and to hell with national security.
That's pretty cynical, isn't it? So So look, country was built on immigrants coming in, cheap labor. I mean, that's really that simple. It's really about cheap labor, isn't it?
Well, no, I don't think it is. The country was built by immigrants for sure, but for 50 years after World War I, there was virtually no immigration to the United States because there was a huge influx in the early years of the 19th century after World War I, but there had to be an assimilation process. These European and immigrants had to become Americans. And then they started under Kennedy, and Senator Kennedy, who was basically a Soviet agent, if nothing else, loosened up the immigration especially to non-European countries. And the aim of it was very clear, to dilute the conservative voting base in the country and basically turn the country to socialism by using immigration and demographics. And so now we have 1 million people coming in a year. Well, if it was 100,000, I don't think there'd be a problem. But 1 million people coming every year from foreign countries who have no regard for the United States Constitution, coming into a huge welfare state. Yeah. That's a whole different ballgame from those immigrants who came back in the 19th century to nothing, where they got no handouts whatsoever. All they came for was a promise of freedom. So that's what they came for.
So what about Trump's something leaked out that he's basically going to deport all immigrants who are receiving welfare benefits, Medicaid, food stamps? Is that a fair thing to do?
Oh, I think it's absolutely fair to do. I don't know if he's going to do it. I hope he does. Look, and forget the word immigrant, and the word immigrant, somebody who comes across the border illegally is not an immigrant. They're an invader. Yeah. The word it's like calling somebody, you have a guest in your house and you have a trespasser in your house. They're not the same thing.
No.
One, you open up the door, they knock on the door, they politely ask to come in, and you let them in. Mm-hmm. The other one comes through your window and creates havoc. Mm-hmm. Are they the same thing? Well, an illegal immigrant is not the same as a legal immigrant. An illegal immigrant is a criminal and an invader.
Sure.
So they have no rights to be here. Yeah, and they have no rights to collect welfare or live off the American taxpayer. It's absolutely appropriate
Democrats
to send them back.
To. Well, yeah, so now the Democrats would like them to collect as much benefits as they can. But look.
Oh, absolutely they would.
Yeah, so then
they want to keep them dependent. They want to keep them voting Democrat. They don't want them starting businesses and becoming good Americans. They want them to ghettoize. That's the plan.
Yeah. So then we have the Prime Minister of Canada saying, "Hey, send us all your refugees. We'll take them." How long is the Canadians going to put up with that?
Well, and I haven't seen a lot of these Americans who said they're all going to move to Canada when Trump got elected. I haven't seen many of them do it.
Maybe they need to push.
And why did none of them say they were going to move to Mexico?
Yeah, well, the weather's better. But I'll tell you what, the Canadians are not going to be very happy with Mr. Trudeau for very long. No,
he is his father's son. He's the same ignorant leftist that his father was.
No, he's
one of the first photographs of young Justin Trudeau was as a baby in arms being greeted by Fidel Castro, and he hasn't learned much since.
Not quite as intelligent as his father. You're giving him too much credit.
Well, I do. His father was an intelligent Marxist, The young fella's not as bright as his dad, that's for sure.
I don't know if you caught it, but they were grilling him over some contributions to his party from the Chinese, and he went into his Marco Rubio robotic mode, kind of what happened to Marco Rubio during the debates.
Oh, yeah,
when Chris Christie nailed him. And it's like they'd ask him questions. They have that thing in Parliament. We should have it here in Congress, where everybody gets to take a slug at the Prime Minister on Fridays or whenever. The backbenchers, everybody gets to take a hit at him. Kind of fun. And he just was like, he had brain freeze. He couldn't answer the question, and he just used these canned remarks. It was a beautiful thing to watch. It was quite entertaining and funny as well.
I'm sure, but and it just, you raise a point when you're talking about the Chinese, because Americans, see, in 2009, the Canadian Intelligence Service, the SIS, not the Mounties, but the SIS, released a report that the Chinese had bought control of, not influence in, but control of the state legislatures of both Alberta and British Columbia, Canada's two richest provinces. Mm-hmm. So that gives you an idea of how much influence the Chinese have in Canada now, and that will only increase when you see them giving money to Trudeau's party. They will get huge influence in that country. Well, I'm sure the Canadians don't want that either.
I have a feeling he's on his way out now. He just doesn't know it.
Yeah, I don't know why they got rid of Harper, because, look, I've got friends who are Canadian, I've got relatives up there, and they said things were going on good under Harper. There was no big deal. They just decided they wanted to change.
Hope and change.
They might have got more than they bargained for,
Hope and change.
And they didn't even get the hope with it. They just got the change.
Yeah, it happens where the ruling party just stays in there too long, and they need to get them out. Not for any particular good reason, Trevor. They just want them out. There's no good reason for it. It's not logical. It's not logical at all. You know it. They just want them out. We see it here in the states, especially just in individual states. They just get tired of having Republicans or Democrats, and because when there are these little scandals, no major scandals, they're just minor scandals, they just get tired and they want them gone. And it happens over and over again. And then the power shifts, and then they see how totally lacking in substance this guy is. It's just what happened here in New York. Bloomberg left. We got Comrade de Blasio. I mean, I'm not there anymore, so it's not they got him, and they deserved him. And, now Comrade de Blasio is going to be indicted. He's going up the river, and they will be done with him. And hopefully they will have learned their lesson for another generation that he's going to be gone, and more fun will ensue. It's just the way it works.
Yeah.
It's a cycle.
It so inevitable, you knew what would happen with de Blasio, so corrupt, so in bed with the hard left.
Yeah.
It was inevitable, and
it's a cycle.
Good riddance. So hopefully there'll be somebody better next time, because, if you remember in New York, the worst time New York experienced in recent decades was under the Dinkins administration.
Yep.
When the place was unsafe, where the tourists wouldn't come, where the town was looking decrepit. And Dinkins was a Marxist, a member of Democratic Socialists of America, filled his administration with radicals, and one of them was Bill de Blasio. And so,
was his mentor.
New York's going great, and it's going good under Bloomberg, it's going good under Giuliani. So what do New Yorkers do? They vote for this crazy de Blasio, and things can start going down it.
That was a bit of a setup.
Surprise, surprise.
It was a bit of a setup, the way it went through, without getting into all that. But no, to give you an idea of the corruption, I'll just tell you a real quick story. It was Dinkins' re-election campaign, and he had beaten Giuliani the first time. He's running against Giuliani the second time, and didn't know for sure if Giuliani was going to win or not. There's so much voter fraud in New York City, but story for another day. And I'm looking at Office Space, and we're going through Dinkins' re-election offices, because that's going to be for rent. It's just a pop-up office, basically, just for the duration of the election. And the real estate agent opens the door of an office without knocking. So don't open doors without knocking here. And there's his hatchet man, Bill Lynch, head of his unofficial head. And there's $100 bills stacked up to the ceiling on this desk. So I just put my hands in front of my eyes. I turned around and I walked out of there as fast as I could. I didn't want him knowing who I was, and I didn't want to know who he was. And I just literally ran the hell out of there, because just didn't want any, anything coming up.
Well, that was a very near miss.
Oh God! The last thing I need is.
I hope he's not listening now.
Doesn't matter. The statute of limitations has run. That was 20 years ago.
Right.
But I'm just thinking, oh my God, what has this idiot gotten me into now? But that's the kind of campaign that he ran, and de Blasio learned from that. So, but it's just a cycle, it's a cycle of stupidity. They hated Giuliani, but they loved the job that he did. You hate the sinner, but you love the job that he does. What's that about? Huh? I don't know. But
yeah.
You see it over and over.
They say the people who win the most elections are the one who smile the most. And so,
and kiss the
people's
most
emotional
babies.
Response to an individual play a big part in all of this.
And Giuliani was the most competent person. And again, he was a workaholic, worked 20 plus hours a day, had his cot in the basement of City Hall, slept there most weeknights. And then after his wife threw him out, he probably slept there all the time. And the guy, every department of government in New York City was reorganized under his regime. And I mean, he was an amazing administrator, and nobody knew it because he was always in government. You run a law office, here, take this case and make sure you get the stuff done. And then you just follow the calendar and make sure that your people file papers in time. That's not like running a business or a government entity, but he did it. So, so we get back to Trump, and I think that's the type of thing he'll be doing, because Giuliani is one of his closest informal advisors. So he's going to be cleaning house. We were talking before the call what he did in the State Department. He just fired all the ambassadors, and now he fired the dark state on the 7th floor of the State Department offices. Just said, "Hey, goodbye, you're gone." I mean, that's pretty bold, isn't it?
Yeah, and look, and I want to see him do this right through, right through all the major government departments. But what I really want to see him doing is actually abolish some of these departments completely. And I hope Betsy DeVos is not going to be just an administrator, but I hope she's going to be a major downsizer of the Department of Education and an eventual abolisher of the Department of Education, because that is the one that has to go.
Well, what about the EPA? First, they said we're getting rid of half of the 15,000 workers. Just yesterday, I read, Trevor, 2/3. I mean, maybe they're going to go for 3/4. Maybe they'll go for 90%. Are you or I going to notice the difference?
No, well, we're probably going to see more businesses spring up. We're probably going to see more trucks on the road, and we're not going to notice the difference, but the economy is going to be better for it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll notice that.
And they put a good man in there, Scott Pruitt, I believe, and I would like to see that completely abolished, but it's a good start firing a whole bunch of them.
Well,
absolutely it is.
Well, we can't actually abolish the whole thing, because there's a couple of things with the military that the EPA is involved with that you don't even know about. You actually have to do some stuff, like the Department of Energy.
Yeah, well, I know, but take those functions out of the EPA and put them under the DOD, or create a separate entity.
I'm totally in favor.
Need the EPA. Yeah, exactly. And the same as the Department of Energy, they do certain things that are national security related and military related, and you're not going to abolish that.
Exactly.
But you don't have to. They don't have to be doing all the other things that they're doing.
Yeah, well, this is government. You give them one job and they look for 20 others, because the purpose of any organism, whether it's formed by nature or by man, its first role is to survive. And then it worries about the other functions that have been assigned to it, right?
Well, yeah, and government, the closest living organism to government is the cancer cell.
Metastasizing.
Because the metastasize, they're parasitic.
Yeah.
By and large, they do nothing. They just keep on getting bigger and bigger till they kill the host.
Yeah.
And that's what government does. Correct.
Couldn't agree with you more. Trevor, we want to find out more about you, follow your work. Where's the best place to check you out?
Yeah, look, go to trevorloudon.com. That's my daily blog. And also, I urge people to go online and check out a little movie we've just done. It's called America Under Siege, Civil War 2017. It's available for free. America Under Siege, Civil War 2017, dealing with the foreign elements who are directing the anti-Trump protest movements. Yeah, so I think most Americans will find that very interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. We could spend a whole show on that as well. And hey, while you're at it, we'll have a link to Trevor's site in the show notes to this interview on financialsurvivalnetwork.com. And like I said before, any emails, questions, comments, criticisms, KL@KerryLutz.com, KL@KerryLutz.com. Twitter feed is @KerryLutz. The Facebook page is Financial Survival Network, of course. And my new book is out for those of you who are into internet radio and podcasting, called Viral Podcasting. And the site, which will soon be up, is viralpodcasting.com. Kind of tell you how to do it, how I did it for this show, how you can do it for yours. Trevor, it's always a pleasure to have you on. We will definitely be talking to you in the not too distant future. Good luck on that movie. Excellent. And hey, be well.
Excellent. Thanks, Kerry.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
By the Ninth Circuit. Now it's kind of tied up in, without getting overly legally technical, the Ninth Circuit, full Ninth Circuit, has agreed to kind of rehear it. In the meantime, the executive order is held in abeyance. You can debate the wisdom or lack of wisdom of the courts, the Ninth Circuit's upholding of the judge from Seattle. But hey, that's what the courts do. They're out of control in many respects. But Trevor Loudon, the judge his order that struck it down, you know, they always say, taught us in law school, if you're weak on the facts, stress the law. If you're weak on the law, stress the facts. If you're weak on the law and the facts, bang your hand on the table, which is basically what the judge here did and what the Ninth Circuit did, right?
Well, it sounds exactly like it. Look, Obama did something similar with Iranians. So did Jimmy Carter. And look, as far as I am aware, the McCarran Act is still the law of the land in this country, and that gives the president total power at his discretion to deem any individual or group of individuals as undesirables who can be kept out of the country at any time at his discretion. So I don't know why he's not invoking that, but to me, Trump acted perfectly within the law, doing what he's doing. Clearly, the judiciary.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is February 20th, 2017. Well, we saw Trump's immigration plan get struck down. He's with us right now. You can find him at trevorloudon.com, TrevorLoudon. Been with us many times. And hey, questions, comments about this show or others, email me at kl@kerrylutz.com. Trevor, it's great to have you back with us. Hope all is well.
Oh, it's good to be on, Kerry. Thanks for having me.
As always. So, immigration, the plan. So, right now, hey, the appeals court struck it down. It's kind of ridiculous, or they upheld